If you're going to London for the very first time, I put together a list of essential London tips you need to know before your upcoming trip. And honestly, whether it's your first time going to London or it's your third time, I think these tips can help you in some way. I just got back from London and I'm gonna share everything I learned with you. Just a disclaimer, I'm not an expert by any means. This is just information based on my personal experience visiting London. Tip number one, do not rely on cash. London is mostly cashless. Credit card payments and mobile payments are accepted almost everywhere. It's good to have some cash in case you run into a market or a small shop that doesn't take card, but you will be mostly using card. Before my trip to London, I went to my local bank and exchanged a small amount of money to have just in case I needed it, but I noticed when I came back home that I didn't even touch that money. All I used was my credit card. Tip number two, be prepared for the weather. When you hear that the weather in London is unpredictable, it really is. Don't make the mistake of relying on the weather app because most of the time it'll be wrong by the hour. When I went to London, I experienced rain, sunshine, wind all in one afternoon. My advice is to just be prepared. Take an umbrella or a rain jacket and use it as needed. Another thing that's super important is to dress in layers. If you get hot, you can take off layers, and if you get a little chilly, you can put on layers. Don't let the weather interrupt your plans, just be prepared for any weather changes. When you're there, you'll notice that people there don't let the weather stop their plans. They're just prepared with umbrellas and rain jackets. Tip number three is to take comfortable walking shoes. This is super important because in London, believe it or not, you will walk a ton, more than you think. Even if you use the tube or taxis, you'll still walk a lot. If you find a pair of shoes that are not only comfortable to walk all day but are stylish enough to blend in, even better. Tip number four is to take a reusable water bottle. With all the walking that you'll be doing, you need to stay hydrated. Tap water in London is safe to drink, and refill stations are everywhere so you can fill up your water bottle. And even if you don't want to use those refill stations, you can buy cases of water and have it in your hotel or Airbnb. That way, you can fill up your water bottle that you take with you every day before you leave your hotel. It's still gonna be cheaper than buying water bottles individually throughout the day, which will be between £2 to £3 each. Tip number five is to get an Oyster card or a contactless form of payment. Transportation can be one of the trickiest parts about London, especially if you're a first time visitor. Buying paper tickets every single time you need to use transportation can get pricey. Instead, you can just buy an Oyster card or use a contactless for payment that can be your card or your phone every time you go through the gates. The system will calculate the cheapest fare for your journey and it will not charge you more than the fare cap for the entire day, no matter how much you use it in a day. What I'm gonna say is gonna contradict a little bit what we just talked about, but if money is not an issue for you and you don't mind spending a little bit more on transportation, I would suggest to just use an Uber. When I went to London, I used an Uber during my entire trip. It was about £15 every time I would use it, but it was a lot more convenient and a more comfortable experience. I was traveling with my little girl, so I did not mind at all spending more on transportation just to have more comfort. Ubers were quick to arrive after I would book them, and they would leave us at the door where we needed to be, which was very important for us. This might not be for everyone, but it's something you might want to consider if you're traveling with small children. Tip number six, book major attractions in advance. London is one of the most visited cities in the world, which means that their most famous attractions might sell out days, if not even weeks in advance. My advice is to just book online the attractions that you really want to visit within 2 to 3 weeks prior to your trip. That way you can secure your spot and even save money. If you didn't know, when you buy online, tickets tend to be cheaper than if you try to buy them at the entrance. Tip number seven is to save time. London is huge, and honestly, it has so much to do that more than likely you will not be able to do everything that you want to do. What I suggest you do is to save time by grouping nearby attractions, because the last thing you want to do is to spend hours zigzagging across the city just to see a couple of attractions. Prioritizing doesn't mean that you have to skip things. It means grouping sites that are close together in order to be able to do more of what you want to do. What I would do is to cluster attractions by the area. So instead of booking, let's say, the Tower Tower of London in the morning and then rushing to the Kensington Palace, which is on the other side of the city. You can do things like the Tower of London, the London Bridge, and the Sky Garden all in one day, which they are in the same area and they're walking distance. By doing this, you'll save a ton of time and money in transportation, and you'll be able to do more. If you only have a few days in London, pick your non-negotiables and allow buffer time in between attractions. Unpredictable delays can happen, so you want to have that buffer time. Tip number 8 is to save money. London is known to be one of the most expensive cities in the world, but your trip doesn't have to be. Booking tickets for most of London top sites can be pricey, and honestly, not all of them are worth it. Let's use Big Ben as an example. You can purchase tickets to go up the Big Ben if you choose to, but in my opinion, I think the beauty of the Big Ben is from the outside. If you really want to go up the Big Ben, you can do that, but if you just want to experience it, you can go and explore the outside, take pictures, video, and just take in the view. Another example is the Buckingham Palace. You can go inside the Buckingham Palace and the tickets are between 30 to 35 pounds per person, which is not cheap. But if you really don't care to go inside, you can just admire it from the outside, which is very beautiful, by the way. And you can also attend the changing of the guard ceremony, which takes place multiple times per week. It is completely free and it's an iconic London experience. If you're planning multiple paid attractions for your trip, I would suggest to put them on a list and look for discounts or passes online. So the takeaway here is to save money on attractions you really don't mind just enjoying from the outside, and book tickets for the ones you're really interested in visiting. Tip number 9 is to balance splurges with savings. This one kind of goes with the last tip of saving money, because London can be expensive, but it can be as affordable as you make it. The trick here is to decide where to treat yourself and know where to cut back so you don't feel guilty of overspending. Use free museums, supermarket meals, and street food to balance your budget. And by the way, these free museums, I don't know how they're free because they're very, very beautiful. Some of them are the British Museum, the National Gallery, Tate Modern, and the Natural History Museum. Tip number 10 is to watch your stuff. Pickpocketing is very common in London and often happens in crowded areas like the Tube or famous attractions. Just keep an eye on your valuables at all times. Don't put your stuff in your back pockets or a backpack that you have on your back. I suggest to take a crossbody bag that is big enough to fit all of your valuables and that you can have in your front. And also never leave your phone or wallet on the table at the restaurants. Tip number 11 is to learn the local lingo. One of the easiest ways to feel more confident in London is to learn some of the words that you will hear. Some of these words are completely different from American English, and knowing them will help you avoid confusion. Terms like the Tube for subway, loo for restroom, brolly for umbrella, lift for elevator, or buggy for stroller. I'm gonna leave a list on the screen of the most common words that you need to learn. Tip number 12 is to stay in central London. When planning a trip to London, your accommodation location matters just as much as the price. It's tempting to try to save money by booking a cheaper hotel or Airbnb outside of central London, but often what you save in cash, you'll lose in convenience, time, and money in transportation. When we went to London, we stayed at a hotel that was right next to St. Paul's Cathedral, and this hotel had breakfast included, so we not only saved money on transportation but also on breakfast every day. The area where we stayed at was amazing, and we also had very convenient food spots within walking distance, like 3 to 5 minutes away. And honestly, just walking the streets by our hotel was just a great experience. Tip number 13 is to pack your essentials. When you're visiting London, especially if it's your first time, having the right gear can make your trip so much smoother and stress-free. A few small items can be the difference between feeling prepared or scrambling to buy things that you need there. Things like a travel adapter, weather gear, or overall day-to-day items that can make your experience so much better. I even put together a video with a list of the things that you will need for your upcoming trip to London. Trust me, these items will make your experience so much smoother and 100 times better. I'm sure these items will be very helpful, so I'm gonna put the video on the screen so you can watch it next.